Hey, welcome to Home Field Kitchen. Glad you found us, however you may have. Today, we are doing poke nachos from Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington, submitted by Natalie and Matt. Before we jump into the poke nachos, let's chat a little bit about the Seattle Seahawks. They were founded in 1976 when they entered the league as the first team in the Pacific Northwest. Now, that filled a huge geographic hole for the NFL, prior to that, the closest teams being in San Francisco or Denver. And while that may seem like a disadvantage in that they have no real close rivals, one thing it does give them is a huge geographic footprint for what may be considered their home turf. Not only being in Seattle and the Washington area, but you could say their stretch reaches down to Oregon, to the east to Idaho, and even parts of western Montana. You could even say it stretches all the way up to Alaska and parts of western Canada. The Seahawks have reached the epitome of the NFL by reaching the Super Bowl 3 times. The first happened following the 2005 season when they were led by NFL MVP Shaun Alexander, coached by Mike Holmgren, and they made their first Super Bowl, the Super Bowl in 2006, and where they unfortunately lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Following the 2013 season, coached by Pete Carroll, the Seahawks won their first Super Bowl. Now, they were led by one of the greatest defenses of all time in the NFL, nicknamed the Legion of Boom, which I love that nickname. And in the Super Bowl, they defeated the Denver Broncos resoundingly 43-8. Following the 2014 season, the Seahawks made it back again to the Super Bowl, where they narrowly missed winning their second one. Now, they eventually lost to the New England Patriots 28-24 when Russell Wilson's pass was intercepted at the goal line with less than 30 seconds to play. In the end, this turned out to be one of the, probably will always go down as one of the most controversial play calls of all time in the NFL. That year, the Seahawks led the league in rushing, and they even had the league-leading rusher, Marshawn Lynch. And he didn't lead the league in rushing. He scored the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL. So with the game on the line, again, less than 30 seconds to play, second and goal from the 1-yard line, and they still had a timeout, the Seahawks called a pass play instead of trying to run. In the end, we know what happened. Pass was intercepted, and the Seahawks lost the game. Located just south of downtown Seattle, Lumen Field seats around 70,000 people. It opened in 2002, and it is the home of 2 other professional sports teams as well. Now, you can't talk about Lumen Field without including a little bit about the noise the stadium creates. Apparently, the way the architecture is built, it kind of captures the noise. And in 2013, there was actually a Guinness World Record for loudest crowd at an outdoor stadium, registering 137.6 decibels. In 2011, crowd noise was so loud, it actually registered on the Richter scale, which of course measures earthquakes. Now, one reason for the noise is Seattle's notable fans, who have collectively generated their own nickname called the 12s, where that's in reference to them working as the 12th man to support the team. So many fans, you'll see them if you watch their games, they'll actually be wearing a number 12 jersey to represent that support. And in fact, that number 12 jersey has been retired by the team. So no player will ever again wear the number 12 jersey. So now let's look at the food. This again, I want to thank Natalie and Matt for submitting from Lumen Field, actually from a stand there called Bar Dojo at the stadium. And so let's take a look at what they presented us. I'm going to start first with the menu that they sent, where it lays out pretty clear what we're going to be doing as far as ingredients go. It's cut off a little bit, but what's cut off is the unagi and the jalapenos. So now let's take a quick look at the bowl. And there you see it. Looks pretty tasty in my opinion. You can clearly see the wonton chips. They definitely do not look like regular tortilla chips that you'd find in a traditional nacho. Green onions and the unagi sprinkled, or the furikake sprinkled on top. The sauces are in there. You can see a little bit of the unagi sauce and of course the tuna. And really that, and the sauce looks like it is that sriracha mayo on there. And really that's it. So this is going to be a challenge putting this all together, but I think we are up for it. Oh, the one thing you don't see that was on the menu is the jalapenos. And those apparently are indeed not there. So I'm going to be doing something with those since they were on the menu, but not necessarily presented in the bowl. So now let's talk about what I'm going to do here. We have all of our ingredients out and they're not quite ready to go, but I just wanted to walk through them quick. We of course have the tuna. I got to thank Reese and Tiffany for providing that. That was fresh caught and frozen, so it should be safe. That's of course going to be marinated in a little bit of sesame oil and the soy sauce. So that's going to be the biggest part of it, of course, because that's what they call it, ahi tuna nachos. The sriracha mayo, pretty straightforward, sriracha mayo. Then we have the toppings. We got the unagi sauce. That's going to be spread around. You can kind of see that in the picture. Sprinkled the furikake on top along with some green onions. Also going to take a little bit of the green onions and put it in the marinade when I do it. The jalapenos, they weren't on the picture, but we got them since they were listed on the menu. And of course, all that's going to be topped over the wontons, which we will fix up to make nacho chips, I guess. So that's what we're getting. That's what we got going. Okay, we're back. I did a little bit of prep work. I got the tuna all cubed. There's about a half a pound here. I know it looked like there was a lot more, but I divided it into a separate one for something else. And then sorry, I got to get my numbers. About a quarter of a cup, or I shouldn't say about, a quarter of a cup of the soy sauce that's going to go right in there. And then a half a teaspoon or tablespoon of the sesame oil to mix in with that. And then I don't have this measured, but just a little bit of the green onions that I want to put in with the marinade. And we will get that all stirred around. See if we can get a good coating. That looks pretty solid. Then the plan is we need to refrigerate this for at least 2 hours. We'll periodically come back and stir it up again just to keep the marinade coating all the pieces of tuna. But that's it. While that's in the refrigerator, we'll work on some other items. We have the tuna in the fridge, marinating again for at least 2 hours is what we have. Now, while that's going on, we're going to mix up the sriracha mayo. You'll notice two things of mayo here. Both have a quarter of a cup in it. And what we're doing, so all kinds of different variances on how much sriracha to put in. Now, I like it spicier, some people don't, so I'm kind of picking the two extremes, and we'll see where we go from there. So first off, we will start with the not so spicy, where we are putting in 1 tablespoon of the sriracha into this mayo. A little bit more. Scoop that out. On the more extreme end, they said a 50-50 mix, so we're putting a 1/4 cup of sriracha in this one. That's a lot of sriracha. But again, I enjoy spicy, so we are going to go with it. And then common to most of the recipes was a little bit of lemon juice in there. So we're putting a 1/4 teaspoon into each one. And then a little bit of ground pepper. I was doing a couple turns on this, ground black pepper. Get that done. And then whisk it up quick so we get a good mix. There's the spicy. I'm going to have to keep them straight when we're actually doing it. And there is the less spicy. So we got that ready to go, and then it's on to the next step. Now we are ready for the last of our prep work before we get this all put together. So we have wonton wrappers, just simple, regular wonton wrappers. We're going to cut them into quarters so that we got 4 triangles for each one. Sprayed the pan with some cooking spray, and we're going to lay them straight on that. Then we're going to, once they're all laid out, light spray over top of it again, sprinkle with a little salt, and pop it in the oven, 400 degrees, for about 8 minutes. So let's slice this up quick. There's roughly our size. Missed that one a little bit. Now we're just going to lay these out. Okay, everything's in the pan. Just a quick little spray. A few turns of salt. And they're ready to go into the oven. We're going to do a second tray with this as well, but that's the basic idea, and we'll show you what they look like when they come out. Okay, we are ready. We have all of the stuff prepped. We got the tuna, the sriracha mayos, the wonton chips, which I think turned out pretty amazingly well. There's a little bit of difference between the 8 minutes brown and the 6 minutes not as brown. So we're going to try and do most of it with the 6-minute ones. But that's the basic idea. So I'm going to take it, as I do this, look at the photo, make sure we're doing it as close as we can. I'm going to put that out front actually so we can see what's going on with the bowl. So I'm just going to layer some of these. They have some of them coming around the side of the bowl, it looks like. I'm going to do multiple layers. This isn't just going to be a one single layer type deal. Try to get some of them up on the side like they have. Make sure my picture stays. Okay, from there. And then I'm going to start putting some of the tuna in on top of this layer. And again, it ended up being marinated for about 4 hours, something like that. But it seems to have come out pretty good. I'm not going to do the sriracha mayo right with this part of it because I'm going to put that just simply over the top of it. Some of the mild, some of the spicy on top. But I am going to put some of our unagi sauce down on the bottom on top of these chips. Just kind of drizzle that a little bit on some of these. Try to get all of them. Not too much. I'll come back for more of that. And add some more chips. This is where I get to really build the side up, I think. And I think that's a pretty good base layer from what I see. Now I'm going to start just building up more with the tuna and add some of the mayo on. That's the word I was looking for. I'm not even sure we're going to use all this tuna. It turned out way more tuna than I thought. So that's where we're at kind of right now. It's looking not too shabby if you ask me. You know, I think I'm just going to do a couple more chips kind of on the top, just a little bit. And I'll make a small bowl. I think I'm going to use some more tuna on here. And I'll just spread these around, make a small bowl as well. Okay, and I am going to call that good. So that's what we have, without obviously the mayo and some more unagi sauce. So I'm going to go with the unagi sauce on top of the, I lost my picture here. I think I'll call it good. Okay, I'm going to put some unagi sauce on top of the mayo. And again, I'm going to do this half and half. Half spicy, half mild, because of the two different ones that they had. See how this drizzles over. Okay, it's more dotted than drizzled, but that's okay. We'll get better at this as we go. Okay, one more. Get some in the corners there. This thing got a little heavy, but I'm good with that. Now the mild. I think theirs looks closer color-wise to the mild because it looked a little paler than the orange that I have on the spicy. That. A little bit of unagi sauce. I'm going to go the other way. We're going to get really fancy here. That and the green onions next. Kind of sprinkle those around a little bit. One more. Okay, set that off to the side. And now to sprinkle on some furikake. Just a little bit on that. It's got some sesame seeds in, some seaweed going on in it. And as I talked earlier, the menu, at the display menu at the stadium said it had jalapenos on, but we didn't see the jalapenos. So I do have jalapenos on there, but I'm not going to put them on just so you can, we're going to try and match the picture, but we may eat it with the jalapenos. And so next, we got the taste test, and that's where we're at. Before we get into the taste test and the results, let's really take a real quick look at the two photos so you can judge how I did with this batch. The original one on the left from Bar Dojo at Lumen Field, a little bit closer shot than what I have of mine, but so there's a little bit different pattern. The bowl, obviously a little bit different, but you can see both have the tuna, the sauces, and I think overall they both turned out pretty similar. I think with the one I made, maybe a little more decorative than the Lumen Field one, but I get that they're serving way more than I was serving, so I think it's really good. But I think overall the looks were really pretty good. Okay, now let's talk about the results. We tried the meal and unanimous. They were fantastic. They were really, really good. Don't know about the ones from the stadium, but I assume same type of deal. Okay, so again, they were the poke nachos from the Bar Dojo at Lumen Field, home of the Seattle Seahawks. The photo was submitted by Natalie and Matt. Thank you, Natalie and Matt. Excellent choice. We also used their flag, the photo of the 12. Excellent there. Helped the video a lot. Couple of other thank yous. Reese, thank you much for the tuna, man. It was great. And for also serving as one of our tasters, giving us the thumbs up. Tiffany, thank you as well for serving as our other taster, and glad you enjoyed those as well. I think the overall consensus was the milder sriracha mayo was the way to go, but I really, really enjoyed the 50-50 sriracha. So again, thanks for everybody for helping. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. It was a lot of fun for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe as usual. But one other quick thing, I want to give special thanks to my man Foster for helping put our new branding together. Looks sharp, Foster. Really appreciate it. And if you would like to see your team or stadium featured on our channel, tag our Twitter or Instagram account with a photo of your favorite food from your home field, along with a photo or two of the stadium that we could use. And we will do our best to recreate your home field favorite in my home kitchen. Thanks for watching, and please visit again as we post more videos.